coaching, performance consulting, strategic workforce planning, and strategic human resource management. Holy crap, that's a lot. She's like a superhero on steroids. Shelly, although superheroes don't really need steroids, do they? No, sorry, I digress. Shelly is a Washington State native and loves spending time with her husband Mike and two kids, Madison, who is 13, and Kyler, who's 10. Let's give it up for Shelly, please.
We used to talk about things like in 2020. You guys realize realize 2020 is like, almost, 7 months away now? Yeah, 2020. So future work for 2020. We're behind. We got to get together. So here's where I get nerdy, okay? So the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that more than 50% of today's jobs will require new skills. And they're saying that that's going to even increase further, that technical skills are going to become a major component of every job. And I'll talk to you in a minute about how that's already happening. Half of the most in-demand jobs, this was 2018, half the most in-demand jobs posted by LinkedIn were not on the list 3 years ago. That's crazy. And we all know that LinkedIn has a lot of data on us and what we're doing, so this is a crazy statistic. 35% of skills workers need will change by 2020. Oh, 2020, again, 7 months from now. This is happening. It's happening now. And by 2021, the innovation and the development world that will allow us to build code faster will take people who aren't developers, and now they'll be able to create new innovation. It's pretty crazy if you read up on this stuff. That's going to cause what? More destruction, and it's going to be even faster than it is right now. And then 73 million jobs, this is one of the doomsday ones, 73 million jobs could be lost in 2030 because of AI and automation. So, skills are evolving. And I think when I take a step back, and I'm not going to age myself, I'm not going to use my plastics, but when I think back to when I first entered the technical market, when people talked about innovation, it was basically the coders. The people that are developing product, the coders, they need new skills, they need to learn Java, they need to learn AWS, whatever the new thing on the market is. They were the people that had to do it. The rest of us were like, sweet, like our jobs just stay the same. Like these developers, they got to learn new things. We don't. But that's not the case anymore. Every job is changing. Every job is requiring a new set of skills. And most of those are requiring technical skills. So let me give you some examples. Sales. How many salespeople in the room? Yes. Sales. Great. So your jobs are changing. So when you used to think about sales, you thought about you need to be able to pitch, you need to be able to negotiate, you need to be able to close the deal, right? That's your core skills. Guess what? Not the case anymore. Because now your customers have access to so much more data, so much more information, and not all that information is helpful to them. And so as salespeople, your job is going to need to be to cut through that data and to help them make better buying decisions. You're going to have the technical skills to understand the data and be able to do that. What about marketers? Do I have any marketers in the room? Okay, marketers, you're changing too. I'm sorry, everybody's changing. So the world between marketing and sales, my salespeople and my marketers, your worlds are morphing. Sales jobs are being lost to marketers who now have snazzy technical skills that can push out buying decisions for people, and they can do it online. They don't even need to talk to a salesperson. And so marketers are going to need to get more technical in nature to cut through all that noise that those customers are getting to put the right products in front of them and help close deals. And then all of us in this room, we are customer-facing in some way. We might be internally customer-facing, we might be externally customer-facing, but we service people. Our jobs are changing too. We have to learn skills like empathy. All this data that's coming at people, we have to be much more empathetic to understand how chaotic and complex this can feel to someone. And we need to become data interpreters. We need to be helping use that data to solve complex problems for our customers, internal or external. And we need to be able to help them so that we can drive adoption, we can drive stickiness with our customers and keep them coming back. And that is true in the learning space too, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I've spent a lot of my time, probably over the last 2 years, talking to senior leaders at different companies, at different industries, all the way up to the C-suite, asking them, in this age of digital transformation and digital disruption, what do you think we need in order to help propel that change forward? And quite frankly, stay employed and in business. And every single one of them, it doesn't matter if they're in a sales role, they're in a CEO role, they're in a technical core set of human skills. Human skills, get this, you guys are going to get excited. Human skills like resilience, growth mindset, learning agility. Those are no longer the soft, squishy things that we used to ignore when we brought it to the table. Now they're the things they're saying we need. We need to propel forward. So this is kind of exciting. My ears are perking up. But getting to this agility, this ability to learn new things, it's not going to happen overnight. We have to change mindsets. And that is both individual mindsets and cultural mindsets. So we can't just rely on telling people, these are the things you need to learn, because we know that doesn't work. No one wants to be told anything. Instead, we have to teach people. We have to be intentional about this. And we have to show people through teaching, through learning, and through experience. And if you don't believe me, if you think, oh, you don't believe me, and you think, okay, she's just some hoed-up girl from Seattle. If anybody knows Jacob Morgan, he's like a genius in the future of work. And he basically couldn't have summed up better what I just said in one paragraph. But he says that the means that you have to have, this means that knowledge and experience, those technical things, the job role things that you've always relied on are not what's going to propel you forward. But that it is your ability to learn new things quickly and apply them to new situations. That the commodity is these human skills. These things that robots, these things that VR, IR, all the R's can't do. That's us. We can do this. So what? I talked about how there's days I want to hunker in a bunker and just like say this is doomsday and I should just wait till I'm unemployed in my bunker and I can just start that early. And we don't know what predictions are going to come to fruition, right? We don't know if by 2030 all our jobs are going to be automated. We don't know any of that. But we do know that innovation is happening. We do know that disruption is happening. We do know that all of this stuff in the workforce is going way rapid, more rapid than we thought. And we have to decide, are we going to be a community that sits around and just hopes that we can rest on our laurels and life's going to go well? Or are we going to take some risks? Are we going to try some things in the face of unpredictability? Are we going to be agile? And are we going to adjust when those things don't work? And so I'm going to share with you, because I think it's really important not to just take statistics and do nothing with them. I'm going to show you some practical things that my team, where's my team? my global team couldn't be here, I couldn't fly everybody up, but my Bellevue-based team is here, so thank you. I'm going to show you some of the things that we're doing that is making all of those statistics practical application. So I'm going to talk about kind of 4 core enablers to the new world of work for us. We'll talk about meeting the learner where they are. We'll talk about reimagining the learner experience, creating a culture of practice, and measuring and adjusting at critical chains of impact. So let's talk about meeting the learner where they are. This is an important one for me. So Erin said it earlier where she said, does anybody ever, I can't remember the exact word she used, but basically feel like you're an imposter in the learning world. Okay, I feel like I'm an imposter. I didn't grow up in the learning space. That I happened to get a job in learning and running learning, but that's not my background. So some days I feel like I'm an imposter. And so I'm going to touch a little bit, and I'm going to touch on my HR friends in the room, and hopefully you won't be offended because I was an HR person too, and I still am. But I think where I'm talking about here, when I'm talking about meeting the learner where they are, that a couple of things. One, we need to be building learning programs, especially ones that are focused on learning agility, growth mindset, resilience, emotional intelligence, into the flow of people's everyday work. What I mean is that we need to create environments that meet the learner where they are today, so that they can learn the skills that get them where they are tomorrow. And we do that by partnering with our businesses, understanding what that transformation at a business level needs to look at. We need to look at current state and then future state, and put the right learning interventions in functionally to make sure that people are moving forward. So when I talk about what I think we do sometimes in the HR and learning field, is that I think that we oftentimes have an idea about what people need to learn. And because we have that idea, we try to create programs and think it's going to be really exciting for people, but we don't create a compelling case for change. We definitely don't meet them where they are. We put it on top of all the other shit that they're doing in their job, and we expect that they're going to want to learn it. And guess what happens when they don't want to learn it? We mandate it. We say it's highly required that you take this training. And guess what we're doing to ourselves in that own instance? Can anybody guess? We're going against everything we just said. We need to teach learning, agility, and growth mindset, yet we're forcing people to learn. That's not teaching them what we need them to. And so meeting them in their current place of where they're at and teaching them how to learn within the world they live in is going to make it much easier for us to build those skills that are most critical, those human skills. We need to reimagine the learner experience, and it's exciting because it sounds like from several of the speed topics, you guys, these are on here, like this reimagining the learner experience. So we need to think about the fact that learners want consumer-grade experiences. They want to feel like it's effortless to learn something. They want to be able to gauge, collaborate, come back to things. And this is what always cracks me up, is that this isn't like a big shocker, because are we not all learners? Don't we all want that? I know I do, right? So we know that learners want that. We need to be more creative. We need to be thinking about how we no longer just rely on tools that work for us to measure learning, like LMSs, but really what sits on top of that? That snazzy, sleek UI, that interconnection of all those tools that come together. I'm looking for, there's a gentleman I talked to right before this morning, and this is what he does. He pulls everything into ecosystems and basically helps create a world in which we're meeting the learner where they are with one-stop shop approaches. Learning is not a standalone. Learning is part of the ecosystem and systems that they go to every single day. And so I'm not going to read through this list because I think you guys all have heard this before, right? What I will say is that we don't do this well in learning. We expect people to go to disparate systems, we don't connect programs, and we don't get people to this amazing learner experience. So we need to really reimagine this world. We need to create a culture of practice. So what we mean by this is people don't learn by going to one-time events. You probably learned some things today, but you really learn through repetition. You learn through the ability to learn something, to practice it, to apply it, to learn, to practice and apply it. That's the definition of learning agility and growth mindset. And so creating a culture of practice is moving away from these one-time events and really creating these journeys for people in which they can learn, apply, and practice. Some of the things that we're doing in our world around this is coaching is a great example. So we're building out a coaching practice. Hence one of our coaches. We're building out a coaching practice where people come, they do digital learning. They go and apply some of the techniques that they've learned with their teams. They come back in cohorts and they talk about how it's working and what do they need to learn and how can they help become better. And they're doing this over an extended period of time, 6 months. Now, are they going to be coaching experts at the end of 6 months? Probably not. We're going to have to solve for that later. But we're building that learning agility, that repetition, meeting them where they are in their jobs, and we're creating this continuous culture of practice for them. And the amazing thing is, I know I've got data analytics people here, and I'm not going to profess to be one. This is why I rely on really strong data analytics people. But the amazing thing about building a culture of practice is that we now have more data that we can look at. And we can say, you know what, do we need more skill development in this area? Do we need another learning intervention here? Why are we not getting from awareness to application? How can we adjust? So when you think about global market trends and you think about the fact that the world is changing, there's skill shortages everywhere, this is how we start to use learning as a differentiator in building critical talent in our organization. We start to build new skills for people that teach them how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We measure where they are through those measures of impact, and we start to increase areas of skills that we need. We start to build a different workforce than just having to recruit people into the organization. I'm going to rest on my laurels and do the same thing I did the last 10 years and hope and pray that that's the right strategy and it works. Or you can be a disruptor. You can do some things, you can try some things, and you can take a few risks and measure and see if they're working. If they're not working, be quick, fail fast, try something else. But you have to do something. And we can't just sit around and not do anything. So this is the way I look at all of this. I look at all of this and my excitement goes up. Because this is our chance as learning professionals to unleash our inner superheroes. We finally have a case to say that all of the things we've said for the last umpteen years, you have to have learning agility, you have to have growth mindset, you need to have complex problem-solving skills. All of these things are now a critical part of strategy execution and transformation for companies. Like, does this get you excited? This is an opportunity. Yes, it gets me so excited. And what I am even more excited about is that we, in this room, 200 some people, are a bigger team, a tribe, as was described earlier. So we don't have to take all these risks on ourselves. We can use our tribe. We as learning folks, we as innovators, we as disruptors, we as strategists can come together and collaborate together, test out new things, and share with the community how they're working. And this is exactly why I said yes right away to this event, before even knowing anything. Because the power of your community and the power of your tribe is how we're all going to get through. We have the chance to really show why people are the differentiators in every single company. So I hope that you will continue this conversation with me. This is all my contact information. I would hope you would reach out. I hope you would challenge if you hate my ideas. Hate away, because I want to know why, and I want to adjust. I don't have all the answers. My team doesn't have all the answers. We always say we're building the plane while we're flying it, because we're Expedia. We're building the plane while we're flying it, but it is true. It is true. And so I hope that you use this opportunity today to build your tribe, to challenge and share ideas, and to unleash, I gotta get my prop. To unleash your inner superhero. And I don't know, I don't have like a whiz-bang, like cool thing for what my superhero is, but I heard a really good one earlier today. Someone said that they had X-ray vision, and I thought that was awesome. And then they said, you look like you could be Elastigirl, and I've heard that so many times. And so maybe I'm Elastigirl, right? But in any event, unleash your superhero, have fun, network, and let's kill these statistics. Let's make an impact on this stuff. So thank you, everybody.
Speed learning, but I want to point out a few other things. Here's the job dots in case. So if you're looking for a job, you want to put a green dot on your badge. If you're hiring, you want to put a red dot on your badge. So that way we can kind of identify who's in the market, who's hired, that sort of thing. Again, try to be helping out through the community. If you didn't get a raffle ticket, come up and grab one. The small side goes in here. The big side is yours. It's kind of hard to read the numbers, but we've got a raffle later on this afternoon and tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big prize, by the way, for that. The other thing is you can do this during breaks, during lunch, this sort of thing. Also take some dots, and you want one dot per poster, if you haven't done it, is go through and read some of the dot for your thoughts posters and put where you think they are. At the end of the day, I would encourage you to come back and look at them, because it's a really interesting thing. When we ask questions about things like considering cultural agility, where are we at? You can see we're kind of all over the board, but then we see other things where we think about our jobs and how they're shifting. So really interesting. We've done this, we didn't do it last year, we did it the year before, but